Today's episode of Tiling Connect is brought to you by Lux's Grates, the leaders in aluminium drainage, which are UV stable, rust proof and customisable on site. Available in your local tile or plumbing shop. Hey everybody, Mark here from Tiling Connect. Welcome to today's episode, and I should say the show. We're very fortunate and lucky to have Shane Boland, General Manager of B.A.T Trims, here with us today, all the way from Melbourne via Brisbane. So it's pretty cool. He's jet setting around the country. Welcome, Shane.
Hey, Mark. How are you, mate?
Mate, very well, doing well.
That's good,
mate. Thanks for being on the show today. We really appreciate it. We've known each other for a few years now since you joined the crew at B.A.T Trims, a company with family history dating back to 1985. Mm-hmm. But I won't steal your thunder because I'm sure that you're going to share all of that with the audience today. So please, the floor is yours. Give us a background on yourself, B.A.T Trims, and how you arrived here today.
Yeah, sure. Well, this is the second time I've been in the industry. I was in the industry about 14, 15 years ago, but I started out in the Bosch Group in the power tool division as product management and moved into sales. I then went and worked with now one of my competitors for a couple of years. And then I just left the industry and worked in another field in general management roles, running some various companies. And it was probably about 4 years ago, I really thought, geez, I'd like to get back into hardware. And yeah, here it is. I'm here back in the tiling industry, which I never thought I would be. And 4 years later, I'm here at B.A.T, enjoying every day of it.
Wow, man, that's awesome. So you've got a pedigree of power tools, equipment. How did that all happen? I mean, where was the starting point for you? What happened there?
The starting point was at Bosch, and I was a product manager for power tool accessories. And then I was very fortunate. It's a fantastic company, had a lot of opportunities to work in various parts of the world and travel various factories and outlets. And that moved into brand management in power tools. And then I ended up being the national sales manager at the age of 30 for Bosch Power Tools. And then I really wanted to explore business world and learn. So I left the large corporate and learned a lot of disciplines, obviously, at Bosch. And that's where I got into the tiling industry. My bit of taste there. Still wanted that craving for learning about business. And from there, I moved in totally different field into apparel and manufacturing. And I was very fortunate to be able to run some companies in that field. And yeah, I turned 50 a couple of years ago, and I really thought, well, at that point in my career that I wanted to do what I really enjoy, and that was hardware. And so, yeah, I found myself in the tiling industry again. Just great.
Yeah, that's very cool, mate. Look, I find that the synergies between product development and sales they're interesting, aren't they? They go hand in hand, and I'm sure that you learned that a lot in the Bosch days.
Oh, definitely. I mean, back in those days, product marketing was everything. And I went the opposite direction where I really enjoyed product and marketing, but I always had this concept or thought that if I couldn't hear the cash register ring, then how good's my product or how good's my marketing campaign? So I was very lucky that Bosch was able to put me into the sales side of the business. I learned so much in that area of the business. And I think that's made me a better person now in business, that I've got that experience in product development, also with sales, and on top of that, been able to last 14 years run some companies as well. So the commercial aspect I've learned as well.
Very cool, man. Quite a distinguished career, and I love the segues and where you've gone and what it's taken you to as well. So that's cool. Yeah. Very cool.
Thank you,
mate. You've had a long career in the building products game, particularly in management. What sort of, from a personal perspective or professional perspective, what keeps you motivated in that space?
I love working in teams, and I love a challenge.
Yeah.
And I've got a fantastic team here at B.A.T, and I'm very proud every day to lead them into battle, pretty much. But I'm all about people, and being part of a team and being able to share ideas and share criticisms, etc. That motivates me, and it's like a game, And if we can add value, not only obviously to my shareholders, but also to the stakeholders, being the employees and suppliers, etc., then I feel satisfied. I feel like I've done something. I'm building something. So that's what keeps me motivated. I love a challenge.
Yep.
And I get up every morning, say, all right, what's the battle? Because I've got some really good competitors out there that are throwing it at me, and I'm throwing it back at them. And it's a bit of a friendly rivalry, but it's business, and I enjoy that. Yeah.
It's interesting that you touch on that point, because it's a big field, right? Like, Australia's a big country. There's a lot of states and territories, and then you've got Tasmania there. I'm not sure if we're not calling that overseas yet, right? So it's still part of Australia. What sets you guys apart? Like, what makes B.A.T Trims different to a lot of the other competitors out there? And there's quite a few.
Well, I think the main thing is that we were the first to bring tiling trim to the market 38 years ago. And the company started by actually supplying now one of my competitors with tiling trim. And we weren't just importing tiling trim 38 years ago. We were actually developing profiles. So, for example, the box trim, or we call it mosaic trim, we developed that. Now, our founder did the original drawings, and now it's sold right around the world. So that's obviously that. With that experience with tiling trim, obviously that we believe that sets us apart. And now we're the largest trim supplier in Australia as a result of that. But also, one of the things with the team that we do is we like to challenge the norm. And, the team now, it's changed quite a bit the last 4 years, that we have a lot of outside experience in the organisation. And we like to challenge. And, just because the industry's done it this way, is that the right way? Or is that the best way to add value to our business and to our suppliers and customers? So we're very open for change. And we're very open to criticism. And that's why I like coming to work every day, because everyone's excited to put their 2 bobs worth in, whether it's someone packing orders or whether it's our managing director. Everyone is valued in their opinion. And that's what keeps me going every day. And I think that sets up.
Yeah, very cool, man. I like it. I like it a lot. It's people in business, very key. Well, people in business are a very key ingredient to building that future success, and having the right people on board is critical. And I love the fact that you enjoy being challenged. I mean, because there's certainly a lot of challenges in the tiling industry, particularly when it comes to tiling tools and equipment. Probably more so in your space than the space that I work in, because you've got such a depth of products. So I completely understand. And like B.A.T Trims, tell me a little bit more about B.A.T Trims for the audience that don't know B.A.T. I mean, we know that they were founded in 1985, and I don't want to pronounce the family name incorrectly. Is it? So I'm gonna let you do that.
No, I'm not very good at it either. But you're right. It's the business was founded 38 years ago by a gentleman by the name of Gerhard and his wife Monica. And Gerhard's still our managing director in the business. And since then, the son Michael has been part of the business since he was like a teenager, basically, and now he's an adult. And as I mentioned earlier on, we were supplying one of our competitors with tiling trims, and then that just evolved into tools and accessories, and now we're sitting on 14 different brands of all different types of tools and accessories for all different price points and value levels. And now we have a national footprint. We have warehouses in every state. We have a sales team. We have our own trucks delivering stock to our customers. We have a German office. We sell to New Zealand. So it's just over those 38 years, it's just grown rapidly. And we've seen massive growth over the last 4 to 5 years as well, which has brought on a lot of challenges for the business. But so that's pretty much the history of it. As I mentioned, on the last 4 years, we've seen a lot of change in personnel in the business, because we've set ourselves, we understand where we want to go and what we want to achieve. As a result of that, we need to make sure we've got the right talent in the organisation to get us to that destination. So,
it's an interesting, just picking up on that last point you mentioned, it's really interesting about that generational change within the tiling and or building and construction space. Of course, I'm not across all of the different trades, but certainly from a people perspective, in terms of, we've got a lot of people that are nearing retirement age that have been in the industry for some time. And you typically tend to find that people are around in tiling in this industry for quite some time. So we're seeing more and more people retire, and more younger people join the industry, whether that be through family or just organically through, seeking new people to join the business.
Yeah, I think it's one of the challenges of the industry, actually. You know, we're seeing at all different levels of the supply chain, whether you're a supplier or retailer, or even a tiler, that you've got a generation shift occurring. So I think we're in for some really interesting times in this industry for the next 3 to 4 years. Obviously, the economic climate doesn't help either in the short term, but yeah, I mean, we've gone. Our strategy has been to have a mix of personnel. So we do have a lot of young people in the organisation, but we also have a lot of people that have been around here for quite some time, 30 plus years. And then we've got obviously the in between. But we find that this is a really great mix, because you see the young generation coming through, and they communicate, they think different, they've got different values to work, etc. And some of us older people can actually learn from that.
Yes.
And then you have the older people that they're on the retirement phase or whatever, but they've been around the block. They've seen the GFC. I mean, I'm getting old too. I've seen it as well, but they've seen the GFC, so they know what's about to we're heading into, all those type of things. So, look, I call myself the coordinator basically of the business, and my job is to coordinate all the resources and just get the best out of them and lead them in the direction that we've set for the business. So, yeah, that's definitely something we've worked very hard on the last couple of years.
Yeah, cool. Mate, you mentioned before about the economic climate. It's obviously hot on everyone's topic at the moment, probably more than it needs to be. We know that the media, mainstream media, I should say, has a good job of putting the tactics out there to scare society into whatever submission or whatever their agenda is. I'm not a big fan of mainstream. So what's your take on what we're heading into in the next 6, 12, 18 months in Australia?
Yeah, it's very interesting, because if you look in our industry in building and construction, we have a supply issue. We just do not have enough dwellings. With dwellings comes infrastructure, etc. And then yet we have obviously the financial crisis we're heading into with high costs and supply chains, etc. So the good news is that there's work there. But, I went through the GFC and I was running a manufacturing company, and we were exporting to America. So we really got whacked quite a bit. And I'm trying to take learnings from that experience, that if you've got a solid business, if you know what you want to achieve and have good people around you, and you have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah.
I can see that a lot of consolidation is going to occur in this industry. The industry is still quite, I believe, not quite mature yet with the way the retail dynamics are occurring. I mean, coming from the hardware industry, I've seen how the hardware industry rolled out with independents and big boxes, etc. I can see this on the horizon as well. So there's quite a number of different things in the pot there that's challenging for us.
Yeah. Look, it'll be an interesting space to watch over the next 6 months or so. Certainly, there's a lot of talk now. You would have wished it was earlier, but there's a lot of talk now from local and state governments about injecting some cash in via these different bills they're trying to get passed.
Yeah.
Yet we're I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dwellings around the country short where we need to be as at today, and then we've got migration accelerating in the next year or two. So, look, we need homes, we need buildings, we need construction, we need all of that. It's just how do we actually navigate through that to get where we need to get to? We don't have enough labour.
As Warren Buffett once said, we're going to find out who's swimming naked in the pool, aren't we?
Yeah.
When it gets really tough, and that's what's about to happen. Yeah. So with that, on the business perspective, there's opportunity.
Yeah.
Hundreds. And even with the challenges we have with staffing at the moment, all businesses, it forces us to look at how we do business and look at efficiencies in our organisation, because it's so easy when everything's going great, you get lazy.
Yeah.
Now we've got to get smart. So, the good businesses, and there's a lot out there, and I hate to say it, I've got some good competitors as well. We're all going to survive, the good ones, and unfortunately, other ones probably might be swimming naked in the pool.
Poetically put, mate. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing that Warren Buffett moment. That's great.
Don't think I learned from you, but
it's okay, mate. This is what the podcast is all about. So, mate, before we move on to some exciting things that are happening with B.A.T Trims later this year and so on and so forth, I really want to find out a little bit more about you. I want to know about some of the biggest lessons that you've learned from in your career and how they've shaped who you are.
Ooh, okay. Well, the biggest lesson I've learned in my career I would probably say is being resilient. You know, I learned that very early when I was in the Bosch group. And I find it when I see a lot of personnel come through the business now, we really do lack resilience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it gets too tough. And it's just a cycle. There's good times, there's bad times. It's how you handle those times. So that's probably the one thing that really stands out that I've actually learned, or big lesson I've learned. The other one is how to communicate at all different levels. And at the same time, just be yourself.
Mm.
And because, you know, I might be the general manager, but that doesn't make me any more important than our truck driver, you know, and I've got to be able to communicate to get the message across to him, just like it is to probably get the message across to the CEO of one of my biggest customers. So to be able to communicate at all levels to get the message across is probably another very valuable lesson I learned. And the last one would be from my Bosch days. Being a B2B in business, you know, business to business, the one thing I learned was product is just a means of making profit. And if you understand that we're in the business of adding value to our customers, who then adds value to the tiler, in this case, our industry, it's just a means of them making profit.
Mm.
And once you start thinking, I say this to my sales team, we're business people, not sales reps. You've got to look at it that we're here to try and add value, not just sell the product, add value. It might not be the right product for them.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of times I insist we pull product out of customers because it's not the right product for them to make profit.
Yeah.
They're probably the three lessons I've been fortunate to learn. Yeah.
That's awesome, mate. I love it when I hearing it from different people about some of the lessons that they've learned in life. There's always something that people can resonate with, particularly the broader community. And I love the one about sometimes you just have to, about product, right? Sometimes you just have to either make a change or just say no, particularly if a customer says, look, I really want this product, but you know deep down inside of you, it's just not the right fit for the job that they're doing. Although they are completely determined to overrule you. You're like, I'm sorry, I have to say no. It's just not the right thing. Because you know you'll be having a conversation in 2 days, 2 weeks, 4 months about, you know, returning it. It just, so.
But it's one of the things I find in the sales industry that they're too scared to say no.
Yeah.
You know, and I say to them, you get more credibility by saying no sometimes and respected as a business person. And I don't use the term rep. We use the term business people here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach the team about the commercial aspects of business and when they're out calling. And something to do that, you got to say no.
Yeah. And look, it's hard for people that are in those business development, or let's not call them sales representatives. Let's say that they're business development personnel. It's very hard for them to actually take that leap of faith and have the confidence to go, I'm going to say no to the sale, but then I have to justify why I said no. And then perhaps at the end of the month, I then have to justify why I haven't reached my targets. Yeah. And if I've said no 4 or 5 times during the month because it wasn't the right fit for purpose, how do I then justify that to the person I have to report to? So it's, I think the more appropriate platform that we can build for them, for people to be able to come and have those conversations. Yeah. The more positive teams can be built in those sort of environments, and they can, help people actually use the skills that they've acquired rather than use the skills that they've been told to use.
Yep, that's right. Exactly. You got to look at the long-term effect as well, and be true to your values and the goal that you're trying to achieve. Yeah. And that's why we have, as I said earlier on, we have these discussions, brutal discussions about how we can improve, how we can, what we did right, etc. as a team, and we do it respectfully. You know, we don't take it personally, but that's how we learn, by learning why you said no, and you probably should have said yes in this case, or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, cool, awesome. When we talk about business challenges, right? We talk about challenges that are also that impact us, people, that impact what we do and how we do it. Yeah. What's one of the biggest challenges you've faced in the last 6 to 12 months that has impacted you the most?
In business or personal?
Oh, maybe either or. You tell me. Yeah, share what you would like to share.
Okay, the last 6 to 12 months in the business, I think, you know, we're on amazing momentum at the moment as a company. The last 4 years has been a fantastic result for us as a business, but now we come to this economic cycle we're in to maintain that momentum and try to maintain the motivation and expectations of all the stakeholders in the organisation. That's probably one of the biggest challenges I've had. And I suppose the other one is to ensure and look for forecasting beyond the challenges ahead of us, because I can see a lot of opportunity in this in the industry, and I've got to navigate a way through these rough waters. So when we do get through the other end, we can capitalize on those opportunities.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of planning, and a lot of, some number crunching, let's just say, on how we're going to achieve that. That's probably one of them. Personally, I think when I get into something, I really get invested. So, as a husband and a father and a friend and everything, I've learned on my way, not just the last 6 months, but probably the last 55 years, not quite 30 odd years. I've learned on the way to try and balance that as well.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to get obsessed with what you're doing, but it's not healthy. It's probably one of the biggest personal challenges I've had to face, because once I lock in, I lock in. This is my personality, So
absolutely. No, and I've been on the receiving end of that personality, so I know what it's all about. But it's hard though. I mean, as human beings and as people in business and people in life, it's difficult to navigate your way through a lot of that stuff, particularly in your personal life, because there's so much information out there now. You could be an expert reader at everything, and you still have to sit down, and you do it anyway, but you still have to navigate your way through the plethora of information that's out there around personal development and mindset and about shifting. And there's only so many hours in the day. So you've got to be very astute about what you choose to, surround yourself with, so that it's the right information to grow you forward positively.
Yeah, and I find, like, my children have left home now, so I'm an empty nester. So, we've all of a sudden, my wife and I are really absorbed into our work as well. But again, that's probably not super healthy, because we need to get that balance. And we've been learning that the last 12 months to get that balance as well. And you're better for it. You're better for it for your work as well.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Awesome.
Anyway,
Are you looking for a water drainage solution that serves its purpose and adds a touch of elegance to your space? Lux's Grates are here to revolutionise your indoor and outdoor spaces. Whether it's your shower, bathroom, balcony, pool, or any other area, Lux's Grates is the ideal choice. It's quick and easy installation that you can bang out in just over an hour. Their standard grates offer a classic and timeless look, while the next generation style adds a modern twist. Lux's Grates are made of high quality anodised aluminium, ensuring durability and longevity.
Well, mate, let's fast forward a little bit. I want to talk a bit more about, a lot more, as much time as the afternoon will give us, about B.A.T Trims. Tell me a little bit more about the people in the business, the key people in the business. I mean, I know it's a family business, and I know we've touched on it a little bit before. Are there other things about B.A.T Trims that we don't know that you can share with us?
It is a family business.
Yeah.
I'm not family, obviously, but it is a family business. But it's a business that doesn't operate like a family business. All due respect to family businesses.
Yeah.
It's growing. It started off as that. It's now becoming a large professional. We're a large player in our marketplace.
Yep.
Organisation. With that comes a lot of challenges and a lot of moving parts in the organisation, and a lot of people. So, we've set ourselves up to, as I mentioned earlier on, really focus on having the right talent and try to retain the talent in the organisation. We believe very heavily in value. Now, value at all different levels. So what we're doing as a business should add value to the people that work here, should add value to our suppliers and our customers, and obviously the end user, the tiler in this case. So we talk a lot. It's taken me a couple of years to get this across, the understanding in the business, but I talk a lot about value, and that even rolls out into our product. Now, we've got 14 brands. We're about to launch our 15th brand, and all those brands represent different types of value in the business, and different fields, because it's what I value and what you value can be two different things. We perceive it differently. So we want to capitalize on that perception, you know, or you might value a trowel a lot better than I value a trowel, etc. So we want to capitalize on both those markets. So we're very big on that and taking that to our customers. So our customers, again, product to make profit, so they can actually generate their profit, which is value, and again, for the tiler to be able to do their job profitably and efficiency. So the key people in the business, our founder, the managing director, I mean, 38 years, he's getting on. He's a very smart man. He's a very engineer background, and his son Michael is exactly the same. So, which is fantastic because I'm not that smart. So it's great to have those people there help support me with the direction I'm trying to take the organisation, and I've had great support.
Yeah, nice.
And the other good thing is I've got some good competitors that keep me on my toes. I like it. I really do. I like it.
There's nothing better than some great competitors out there that
you have to have competitors.
Challenge the status quo every day.
Industry has to have competitors. It keeps everybody honest. It gives, you know, I'd say, you know, sometimes I run out of stock and so does my competitors, but our retailer, we're true to our values. Our retailer needs to have stock. So I say to them, if they can't get it from me, get it from this competitor. I know he's got the stock. Because I don't want them to lose their customer. Yeah, that's how honest we are about it.
Keeping the supply chain flowing through, mate. Love it.
Correct, mate. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me about, you mentioned 13, was it 13 or 16 brands? 16 brands.
We got 13 brands.
13 brands.
14 brands. Yeah,
we got one on the way, which I'm sure you're going to share some information about with us shortly. Who are some of the major brands that you guys deal with at Battrims?
Well, first off, I'm not going to share the one that we're about to launch.
Oh, that's okay.
And
you might just give us a sneak peek.
I might, but the Raimondi is one of our flagship brands.
Yeah, and they're a Spanish company.
No, they're Italian.
Oh, they're Italian.
So
yeah.
Italian.
Sorry, what do I think?
So they're an Italian company. Again, they're a family business as well. Very large family business. Very obviously with the wet saws. We're very strong with the wet saw market, large format, and with grouting systems, etc. So we've had that business for 25 years, I believe.
Wow, that's
the Raimondi
ages.
Brand. Yeah. So we have the Raimondi brand. We obviously have our own Battrims brand, Bat Pro brand, Tika brand, Bat Seal brand, where we have quite a number. Look in this Queensland showroom. We've got quite a number of other brands sitting in here.
Yeah, nice. And the Bat Seal range is relatively new, right? That's a silicon?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. And so you can't give us a look in on what's coming next?
No, there's another brand. There's another brand that we are about to launch. But no, I can't give you a look in because, again, my competitors are smart, mate.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to give them a bit of an edge. So yeah, no.
Well,
sorry.
No, that's okay. All right, that's cool. I know you're gonna. There might be an opportunity for you to share some information about some new products coming soon, hopefully.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Oh, so you can talk about that. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about that.
Yeah, wasn't sure. Like from the time how long have you been with Battrims now?
Just over 4 years.
Just 4. Wow, time flies. Oh, actually, we're in lockdown for 2 years. That's right.
Yeah.
So, you're from Melbourne, right?
Yeah, I'm Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne. Yeah, okay. Same vintage as me when that all happened.
Yeah.
I know we've touched on this a couple of times already. I'm going to ask this question just a little bit differently. What sort of role do you believe Battrims plays in the job of strengthening the business of tiling in Australia?
Well, obviously, first off, with our trims and our expertise and being able to we can manufacture locally here in Australia as well on expansion joints, but also develop new profiles. That definitely helps us. That will strengthen the industry. But I think, again, I know I talk about it a lot, but it goes back to us challenging the industry, challenging the way we do business. And, you know, I look at it now, and like I said earlier on, I see there's a lot of similarities to what I've experienced in the hardware industry 15 odd years ago. So I can see with our attitude that we believe we can change things or the way we do business, and we'll have strengthening the industry. You know, things like what you're doing now. This adds value to the industry with knowledge and you know, exposure to different fields, different things. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Thanks,
think
mate.
being a strong competitor as well, I think also helps my other competitors get strong,
Mm.
and that helps the industry as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, nice. No, that's awesome. Look, it's always good to talk about, strengthening the business of tiling. It's one of those things where, as this journey's unfolded the last 12 months, and we literally are now about to hit the 12-month launch mark, yet our first episode, I don't think, launched until the end of July, early August, due to some technical issues last year. Yet we're seeing the word craftsmanship or craftspersonship, however you want to politically say it correctly these days.
Yeah.
But we're seeing the word craft used a lot more, particularly in this program on a number of occasions, and particularly the people that I've connected in with more frequently now. Tiling has always been one of those trades I've seen in Australia not have as much of the limelight in terms of the capability of what it is. Tiling's always been sort of seen as I wouldn't say ugly duckling, it's probably not the right word, but certainly it hasn't been given the same space and time that some of the other trades have. There's trades out there where, they're fully licensed. The apprenticeships are rock solid. There's funding for different trades. Like you look at the brick industry, for example, it's a very, very hard laboured industry in terms of getting people to physically do that work. Yet the major brick companies in Australia all throw in millions of dollars every year on training and development and recruitment of new apprentices. So we don't have that luxury in tiling. It's very much, and we also don't have, we certainly don't have enough regulation around licensing, and there's probably not enough training. There's a whole bunch of things. So we're seeing some really, really great conversations happening now about all of that, which is excellent. Are you sort of feeling that that's sort of happening as well? Are we changing in that direction?
I think we are. We're aligned with Laddercrete when it comes to large format training.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see, and some of my competitors are doing the same thing with different products, that you're seeing brands and other products aligning to help train the tiler in the industry. I do have to agree with you, coming from the power tool industry and seeing the glamour of that type of market, and then coming to tiling and seeing, I agree, it's like the poor cousin.
Yeah.
I think it has a little bit to do, though, with the actual product itself with the tiles. And even my second time back in this industry, seeing the color, the flair, the creativity of tiling product and landscaping product, I think that's actually going to help the industry and the tilers, because it all of a sudden becomes, just look at the block, how they talk about the tiles and things like that. That's going to help build the tiling profession. And I think that will assist.
I think from a aesthetic, put it together, design it, and make it look amazing perspective, I think the block does a great job on that. Certainly, I won't talk about I don't want to get myself in trouble, so I'm not going to talk about the fundamentals of what happens behind the scenes, because I've been involved in the block on a couple of occasions with different companies, not the company I'm with today, but I certainly know that some of the quality certainly is not as it should be on a building, but there are rectifications and stuff that do occur. But they do a great job in promoting that craft. I think social media does an excellent job of promoting that craft, and I think a lot of the younger up and coming generations have really grasped that with both hands and use that a lot. And also even the generation that have been around for, like I had a contractor on last week, Naomi, and she's been in the trade for 24 years and she loves getting on Instagram and sharing all of the stuff with her audience and what she does. And she's not the type of person that needs to advertise her business. It's just that she loves sharing the great work that she does. So
look at the landscaping industry. That's the same. There's some amazing work, outdoor work, and some crazy paving and things like that. And you just look at the socials, how great that work is. And that's building that profession. Every second person's a landscaper.
But I also I shouldn't say but, it's not the right word. I also love the fact that what it allows the industry to do is actually raise its profile, and also it allows the contractor to be able to then ask for the prices that they're worth. We have seen, look, I remember, and this story will blow you away, right? Just a really quick story, a bit of a segue. When I worked in the tiling industry, when I first started, it was in 2003 up here in Queensland, and I worked for a retail tile company. It was my very, very first job, just full-time retail sales. I'd come out of 9 years of hospitality, 4 years of retail clothing. And then I walked into a retail tiling product space, and I thought it would just be not for me.
Yeah.
And I remember a couple of tilers moved from Sydney to Queensland because back then in the early 2000s, they saw the opportunity. There wasn't enough qualified tilers up here. They wanted to take the market by storm. They developed a relationship with myself and a few other people at the shop. And there was this synergy between us and them, and we would actually help share, because customers would come in all the time back then and go, hey, do you know any qualified tilers that can do the work for us? And we'd hand out their cards. And after a couple of weeks, everything was going really well, but these guys were just hungry for more work and hungry for more work and hungry for more work. And they wanted to put more guys on. And it was just this crazy mix of things going on at once. And I remember having a conversation with them, and I was trying to figure out why that actually were acquiring all of this extra work. And it turns out that they were doing this sort of introductory business explosion special, and they were laying 600 by 600 porcelain tiles for $15 a square meter.
Wow.
Plus $15 a square meter plus GST.
Yeah.
But that was like, there was obviously a lot of terms and conditions around it. And there was obviously, it had to be a pretty much a main area. There was no wet areas included. But when they said that to me, I was like, wow, we haven't really come a long way in terms of leaps and bounds, but certainly in today's landscape, with all of the attention around social media and the craftsmanship of how there's a spotlight on this industry, we're seeing that people are actually able to quote for what they're worth in their eyes. And I saw an article the other day where they were talking about rates, and it was a really perfect guide for sharing with people out there so they have an understanding of what they're in for. But mate, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for, right? If you don't do your homework and you don't look at a whole bunch of parameters around getting the right contractor in, it can go sour really quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Same with product. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And that's what I said earlier on. Sometimes we pull product out of some of our trade stores because it's not suitable for them. It's a DIY product.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, mate, we're at that point in the show again. I would like to know what B.A.T Trims has in store for us for the rest of 2023. I've done enough talking, so mate, give us a look in what's happening with B.A.T product wise.
Well, product wise, we've definitely got some new trim. Obviously, with the changing of colours and the tapware in the industry. So we've got our lineage copper that we've actually had out now for a couple of months. That's really starting to build some momentum. Nice. And we've got the antique brass. The brass is really popular in the wet areas, but brass is not really good for wet areas.
No, brass is not really good for wet areas at all.
No, it's not very good for wet areas. So we have an antique brass that's made out of aluminium, obviously.
Yep.
And we've just launched that. We've had a great feedback from that product. Now, both of these products, by the way, were developed by our sales team.
Yeah, wow.
A round table.
Yep.
And we sat around. We had all different samples. So just imagine the motivation these people have got now. These guys. Yep. I know who's going to be behind the sales, the people that were in that round. Large format is obviously getting some traction.
Yep.
And with Raimondi has some fantastic large format products and tools. And I think the tilers are starting to get a little bit more confident with that product. I mean, it's very expensive, the slabs. So we've got some large format tools already out, some easy moves, some easy cutting ways of cutting the slab. And we've just launched the new Panther wash bucket as well. Again, cool. This is a basic wash bucket that under our Panther brand, which is the entry price point brand. And we've just launched that, and we've sold a lot. Very quickly, so which is great. Which just shows you, during these times that some people value things a little bit different. Yep. And we know that this will definitely take off because of that.
Yeah, nice.
The company, we have a very aggressive 12-month new product program and branding program. We'll definitely launch 2 new brands for the next financial year.
Nice.
One's about to come. And with product, we plan 12 months out with a rolling month, which we introduced in the business a couple of years ago, which has been very beneficial for the organisation.
No, it's cool, mate. Yeah, I like it. It's like a lot. The Panther wash bucket, has it been out long?
It's only been out for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And the uptake was fantastic. Yeah.
Wow.
Been out for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, which is great. And it's good. No, I mean, this is our different values. So our Ramondi wash bucket is a fantastic wash bucket.
Yep.
And that's our premium wash bucket. And then we have the Panther wash bucket. So for people that might not value the Ramondi, we've got the Panther and vice versa. You know, our Ramondi sales are gone crazy on the wash bucket, the skippers and the stars. Yeah. So, you know, we haven't seen any erosion because people value things a little bit different. Yeah. There's a big market out there.
Is there somewhere specific online where people can actually have a look at the Panther wash bucket?
All great stockists. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
No.
I don't want to get in trouble with any of my customers.
Mate, you can do whatever you want.
All great tiling trade, retail stores and online outlets.
So if I Google it, it should come up and someone's got it.
Correct. That's right.
Okay.
Someone's got it.
That's the best answer. Nice. No, that's awesome, mate. Look, I appreciate you sharing all that with us today, and we're not wrapping up just yet, because as we have it with every show, I really do like to actually find out a little bit more about the guests, and sometimes these questions are designed to really understand you a little bit more. I know you've shared a bit with us already today, and I appreciate that. But we, like to ask some fast track questions, mate, just to get through to the end, and then we'll talk about some, what you can share with us, so I can put in the show notes, and people can get in touch with you and or Bat Trims after today's episode.
Okay.
But I suppose if you could choose one place in the world where you would live, where would that be?
Where I am, Melbourne. I love Melbourne. Melbourne boy. Yeah, I love it.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you traveled overseas much?
I'm very, very lucky to travel a lot of places around the world. I mean, I could easily say, Europe or the Pacific Islands or Italy, but I'm a basic homeboy, mate. I love
no,
I'm very lucky. I travel every 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks around the country for work. Nothing beats coming home and
Mate, I know the feeling. I'm back in Brisbane now after spending 10 years in Melbourne, so I still miss Melbourne.
It's probably my second favourite. I mean, I could probably live up here, but only because I'm now supporting the Dolphins, but that's about it.
Fins up.
That's it, fins up, my friend.
Fins up. Mate, they're literally 11 kilometres that way from my place. So
that way where I'm at right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Mate, if you had to choose one meal to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would be a vegetarian meal.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. Good anything vegetarian. Yeah.
What would be your favorite productivity hack for someone in management?
Productivity hack. Ooh, don't really have one. Jeez.
You didn't study the questions, did you?
No, I didn't study the questions. Productivity hack. Well, the one thing that I learned very quickly in my Bosch days was messy desk, messy mind. So, a messy office, messy environment, you clutter your mind. So that's probably the one thing, and a diary, to-dos list. They're the two that I would probably say. I mean, they're the two I do, but yeah.
Yeah, nice. What book are you reading at the moment, mate?
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not actually. No.
What if you could choose a title?
I actually just finished a book. I just finished a book about charting.
Okay.
Stock charting.
Yeah. Because
I have an interest in that. So I've just finished that book, but I haven't even chose another book yet. So I might read. See, this is how boring I am. The Art of War. I never got to read it fully, and I've got to. Have you ever read it?
The Art of War.
The Art of War.
No,
it's an old Chinese military book.
Yeah, wow.
See how boring I am?
No, mate, it's not boring at all. It's about getting to know you a bit better. A lot better. Mate, that's perfect. Look, I really appreciate your time today, Shane. It's great to connect in with people in the industry and talk about, the industry that we work in every day. I know that a lot of us, you and I included, and many others, live and breathe what we do. We sometimes find it very difficult to turn off from what we do. but it's all out of a love and passion and authenticity of helping strengthen the business of tiling.
Yeah, no,
so
you're doing a good job, Mark. Like, things like this is what the industry needs, and especially over the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of change, and people need to open their minds, and having content like this really will benefit people.
Yeah, so no, mate, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I think the message is getting out there, and I think people are really starting to I'm lost for words, but anyway, they're there, they're listening. The broader community hears us, and we'll continue to do this until people say don't do it, which probably will never happen. So we'll be doing it forever, which is okay. So if people want to connect in with yourself directly and or B.A.T Trims, mate, what's the best way for them to do that? And we'll make sure that goes in the show notes so that people can
just look me up on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way. And with B.A.T Trims, you just all our socials. It's just simple. It's B.A.T Trims.
Yep.
And you'll see us on Facebook, on Instagram, and LinkedIn as well. That's the easiest way. Or just Google us, and you'll see all our offices around the country. Just call us up.
Awesome.
Ask for me. If you ask me on any of the states, they'll pass the message through to me, and I'm more than happy to talk to anybody.
Mate, fantastic. Well, Shane, you've been bloody brilliant today. Thank you so much. Have a excellent rest of the day, and until next time, mate, stay connected.
Thanks, Mark. You too. Take care. Thank you very much.